All right, welcome to episode 128, I believe, of My FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there is more than one way to get this information. Um, Today is Sunday, November 3rd, 2024. If you're here in America, it is the day that you set your clocks back if they don't do it for you. Every clock I have is tied to the internet, so I don't have to do anything. It does everything. I think there's one clock here on the wall. That's a manual one. That's a battery operated one. But someone will change that. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a while since I posted. Um, oh, sorry. Okay, let me do all that other stuff some people don't like, but I have to do. All right. Um, YouTube. Well, I don't have to say that anymore. Rumble.com is video, and you can find me there as my FX Buddies. RSS.com has a video also. Nope, RSS.com has a transcript, which you can see why you might want a transcript of me talking. Um, let's see. Spotify.com has audio and video, my FX Buddies. What else? What else? Apple Podcasts, you know. But the best place, in my opinion, is the blog, which is myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, because there you will see everything, all the articles in full. Don't forget that chirping is here where I am, not where you are. And we're probably gonna deal with it for the rest of the month, but we'll see. Okay. That's it, right? So let's get into it. Oh yeah, because I already know I'm not going to cover every article that's here. So, but the important ones, well, let me do the little summary like I do. Um, the they did vote in the new House Speaker, and they're giving him a year. Yeah, but Al-Alaq was only supposed to be there for 90 days, right? And he's still there. So, but I don't know, possibly in a year there's new elections. So then it would be right that he would be there. Okay, I'm not sure about this guy. Okay, well, he's clearly been in government for a long time because he was arrested by Saddam Hussein. I don't know if he did any jail time, but then the other thing that has me a little worried about him, for the country, not for the RV, he is backed by Maliki. So let me just tell you, because remember, for 4 days in a row, they had fist fights. The parliament people had fist fights. So then what they did was they said, okay, on this day, Thursday, we're just going to vote on the House Speaker. We'll worry about doing the laws later. Because apparently it was the laws that they were fighting over. But I will tell you, they brought in a man to pray. You know how they sing their prayers? They brought in a man to pray. And they voted, and it was pretty much unanimous. They fill out a paper, a ballot, I guess. Then they walk up to the front, they put it in a box. Then the papers are taken out of the box, they're counted. Then on a whiteboard, they do those marks where you do four and then you cross the fifth one. Then you do another set. So you could see it was pretty much unanimous. After they brought in Halabusi. And if you don't remember, Halabusi is the reason the House Speaker position was open. He was removed. So I don't know if he's crooked or what, but he was removed. Maliki's dirty. We all know Maliki's dirty. Both of them came to the Parliament Hall, had a meeting in a separate room, right? They have suites, I think they call it conference rooms, I think is what they call them. The two of them met in the meeting. lo and behold, Mashadani gets voted in. So that is a little suspicious to me. So just so you know, all of that is around him. But I will tell you, and he gave a speech and he was like, we're going to get to these laws. There's 50 laws that have been pending and we're going to get to them. I was like, oh, okay, he's not going to waste any time. So, maybe it'll be good. But whatever. All right, so now let's get to the articles. This one, oh no, I could give a rip about this one. But you guys really like the WTO. And you know what? I'm not even going to really read it because it's a waste of time because they're not in. Attempts to obtain a seat in the World Trade Organization have not succeeded so far. So they're not in, right? That I know that. I apologize. Messing with my phone. Uh, okay. I'm waiting on a delivery. Okay. There is good information in here, and this is coming from Muhammad Saleh. So he talks about the obstacles, and then there's a good definition. There's a good definition of here what the World Trade Organization is. So those of you who are really into that, you could go and read that. Now this is the best article of the weekend so far. It's very early here. Trade Bank of Iraq explains procedures for money transfers and combating money laundering. So this came out yesterday. They announced, the TBI, Trade Bank of Iraq, announced on Saturday the number of transfers has increased to 400 transfers, while clarifying the procedures for financial transfers and combating money laundering. The bank's media advisor, their name is there, said in a televised interview after the recent decisions taken by the bank's management, according to the directives of the Prime Minister, to open a deposit center. So the deposit center, at least one, right? There's probably more, but it's been my experience over the years that I've been reading these articles. When they mention one, there's usually more. And remember, I had also said they probably were already open and running. This is just now the official, as of October 20th, it's official. They've opened deposit centers. Then it says additional branches were opened and working hours were extended from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., noting that the decisions contributed significantly to reducing the current momentum, whatever that is, right? But I think it means traffic. A lot of people going into the bank. Let's see. He added the percentage of transfers increased from 250 to more than 400 various transfers per day within the Iraqi Trade Bank in all branches and is subject to increase, indicating that we have branches still under construction that will be opened soon, and there are employees with experience, and work will be done to increase their numbers. Okay, so going back to the deposit center, I'm sure they're depositing the 30 notes and they're getting something. They're either getting, if they have an account with Trade Bank, it's going into their account. If they don't, possibly they're getting a debit card. I mean, they're not just going, oh, here's my 30 notes. Something is happening. Maybe they're depositing and maybe they have a debit card that Trade Bank of Iraq deals with, and they're putting the balance on that card. I would like to get details. Iraq, if you're listening, I would like to get details on how that's working. And don't laugh because sometimes I get my answers. All right, let's see. Anything else? So, this is a really good article. You should read it. But I pointed out the most part. But so See here, some of the transfers are taking 5 to 7 days, and it tells you why. You can guess. Now it does say the exchange rate. Yeah, okay, I did have this bolded, so let me read this part to you. Excuse me. The Trade Bank of Iraq is solid and has a wide network of correspondents such that customers come, oh, sorry, turn them down. Customers come to the bank through the central bank platform to benefit from the exchange rate approved by the central bank. Okay, so what exchange rate is that? But I'm sure it's, it's not the rate we want it to be. And here, then I'll just read this part to you also. She explained, whoever she is, there are certain percentages to know if the project can be managed first, and the priorities are audited and reviewed to go to the platform, and an approval comes that is converted into Excel and then goes to K2, K2I, a global auditing company in America, to audit even the beneficiary to whom the company's information, papers, email, phone number, and address are sent. Sometimes this company cancels many requests because they are unconvincing. So sometimes they cancel the request because they are unconvincing companies. They have special websites and standards that audit many companies, and approximately 20 companies have been banned from dealing with them in China. We have many companies and merchants whose papers are checked before entering the platform. So they seem to be doing well, right? And that's going to be the new, whatever this system is they're doing, that's going to be the new way of doing it. But they cannot get, they're still doing auctions every day. Okay, there we go. And they can't get rid of the auctions until they change the rate. I know other people out there are saying other things, but yeah. All right. What are the positives of the central bank reducing interest rates? So that's still a topic. They're still talking about it. There was one guy that did this really long. I think I talked about it on the last one. I don't know, but whatever. It's still a topic. It's still discussion, when they change the rate from 7.5 to 5.5. Most banks have not reached 75% of credits. So it says right here, regarding cash credits. So does that mean the 3-0 notes that they want the people to bring in? I don't know. Regarding cash credits, the Prime Minister's advisor for economic affairs explained that they should represent 75% of deposits, adding that most banks have not reached this percentage, especially private banks. So banks can reach this percentage through this process where they lend and move their interest, and it is an attempt. And then it ends there. I think there should be more words there, but what do I know? And then the last thing is financial liberation. So, all right. Then we have this man. Yasser, there's his last name. And he's talking about focus on the banking sector. And this one, it's just more, well, here, this moral support that this interest constitutes requires taking encouraging steps for banks to perform their role to the fullest extent, represented by laws and procedures that guarantee the banking sector to push it towards implementing its required development programs. So the focus is getting them modern, probably getting them all on that, what is it? Comprehensive banking system that they only have 46 branches of the Rapidan Bank. Then they want to get people investing. See here, the goal is to certainly invest this money and put it in the labor market. So stuff like that. Education for the citizens. That's the word I was trying to think of. But it's good reading because a lot of what they have their banks doing is what our banks do. So it gives a general understanding of banking. All right, let's see. This was really big. This government moved to establish an administrative capital in Baghdad. And there's a picture. I don't know if it's done now or that's computer generated and that's what they want it to look like, but whatever. It says that it will soon be announced. So how can they have it made if it's soon going to be announced, right? So that's why I think it's computer generated. Here's a rare Vietnam. No, I forget. There's two really good Vietnamese sites, news and economy, but I always forget to check. But this was in Iraq's news, and I said, oh, all right, a Vietnam article. So it says Vietnam seeks closer ties with Gulf states beyond energy sector. So if you want to read that, it's at the blog. The Presidency of Republic and Parliament confirm working to legislate laws that affect citizens. So this is what I was talking about. Well, this wasn't his speech. But the president met, here's the Mahmoud al-Mashadani. That's the new speaker. And they talked about, oh, you know what? I don't think this is the one. Let's see. Excuse me. This isn't the one where he says 50 laws, but it says they're going to work to present laws and legislation that serve the interests of citizens, especially in security, political, and economic aspects. Then he expressed his thanks and appreciation, congratulations and wishes for winning, stressing the endeavor of the presidency of Council of Representatives to move forward in completing its tasks in a way that achieves the supreme interests of Iraq and its people. You're right. So here is an article, Banking Association. This is the private banking association, confirmed on Saturday that the government's success in reducing inflation to 3.8 helped stabilize commodity prices. So normally I don't really talk about inflation because, they fudge their numbers just like we do. But the key thing about that is Shabibi, when he was here in America, however many years ago, that was one of the things that he said we should look for is low, stable inflation. And they seem to be saying that's what they have. All right, what is this? Suspended laws await Mashadani's hammer. Parliament Speaker faces complex files in short time. So they're going to go on break. So some laws will be postponed to the next session due to the selective approach. But he stressed there are about 50 laws referred to in the constitutional articles, and they're extremely important laws related to implementation of the Constitution. To the Constitution, when they are not enacted, the constitutional articles related to them remain frozen and inactive. And they've been waiting for months, so you could read the rest of that. MP warns of new rise in dollar prices in coming days. I can't imagine why. And actually today is a holiday because it rained and there's flooding. But yeah, so a member of the Parliamentary Oil and Gas Committee warned of a new rise in the dollar exchange rate, because continued smuggling. But I wonder, oil smuggling. No, he just says because of oil smuggling. All right. And there's another article about reducing inflation. Okay, so those are the articles about money and oh wait, you know what? Hold on. Okay, I apologize. There were two articles I thought I had added, which I didn't, but I have now. So if you were following along, remember we were at the bottom of, well, sorry, we're at the bottom, but we were about to start talking about military articles. Okay, so you would have to come back up, and I just put this under focusing on the banking sector. There's two. There's this one. The government is helpless. The dollar continues to destabilize the economy in Iraq. So they're talking about the parallel market rate fluctuation, how it hits negatively. But look at this. Again, this is Qasim Balshan. He's just the economic expert. Um, but he's bold. He's pointing out that there are influential figures and blocks behind the rise in the dollar exchange rate. And then he has some nice little things to say about America, too. And then this, I wanted you to see, Maliki stresses need for legislative reform in meeting with Iraq's new parliament speaker. So, Maliki is just a party head. He's talking to a guy that is a president of the country. However, I don't think that guy, he wouldn't be in that position if it wasn't for Maliki. But, and see, there's something about the way they position the power person sits on the right. So, yeah, that's why I'm not liking this at all. But they had multiple meetings, framework meetings with Sudani, and so I don't know if there was money moving between hands, but whatever, it is what it is. I just hope it doesn't continue to hurt Iraq. And I haven't done any research, but I'm guessing Iran approves of him as well. All right, so now we'll go down to the bottom. Associated Press. Ice Cream Land is exposed to daily attacks from Iraq, but it's not really Iraq. It's the militias, right? But they are inside Iraq. And so they're worried, how long is Ice Cream Land going to allow these missiles, whatever they are, to come over and not retaliate? I don't know. So you could read that, and let's see what else. This is interesting. U.S. Central Command announces arrival of B-52s. That was an old rock group. But our B-52s, you know what they do to the Middle East. Here, Hezbollah is striking Ice Cream Land military bases, forcing the people who live in Ice Cream Land into shelters. And they are just kablooing the heck out of them. Not to say that it's not happening in Lebanon, but somehow, remember we just put that new THAAD thing up, and apparently it's not working because it's getting through. But of course, they're not admitting that it's getting through, but it is, because they video it and they upload it. Some of the news channels in Iraq shows the footage. All right, let's see. There's another article about our destroyers being deployed over there, if you want to read that. And isn't this lovely? Iran closes airspace on U.S. election day. So they've announced it, that they're going to do that. And usually, why is airspace closed? They don't want planes flying over, but this is being taken as a threat that Iran is going to retaliate. But, there's still time for someone, maybe, to talk them down. Or, they could just be trying to keep people anticipating, right? And waiting and scared and everything that goes along with that. So we'll see. I know there's lots of people praying, and I believe that changes things. So we'll see. But I believe that's the last article. Yeah, so there hasn't really been a lot. Most of the news has been about the guy winning, how he won, who's supporting him, what they expect. There's been a lot of new projects open. I'm not sure what they are, factories, um, but they've been showing that on TV. So, um, yeah. Oh, Sudani went to Turkey. That's my phone. But still nothing has happened. They did talk, Sudani and Erdogan, whatever. Erdogan, I think is how you say that. But I think they're still waiting. I think that was just a follow-up. But prior to Sudani going, he did have two meetings with separate groups of people because they showed that all day long. Oh, another thing, I forgot. There was another thing they're talking about is our elections. They've been showing the T-Man, showing his um, speeches, but of course they're talking over in Arabic, and our lovely vice president, they've been showing her, and same thing, the English volume's down, and they're putting it in Arabic. So they really are watching our election very closely over there. Yeah. Oh, but I was laughing because there was this one guy uh going over even how they do the maps with the electoral votes. He was going over that, but he had this huge American flag behind him. But I'm like, I hope he's not in Iraq with that huge American flag behind him. And I took a picture of it, but it's not important because he's probably not. I'm thinking maybe he's here in America. I don't know, but I just thought it was funny to see this Iraqi guy talking in Arabic about our elections with the big American flag behind him. So anyway, all right. So I'm just rambling now. I'm gonna end here. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let's see what this week brings. Um, and wherever you are enjoying this content, if there's a follow, like, support, no, not support, follow, like, join, I don't know, whatever. Look for that. If there's do whatever steps needed to activate that because I don't post regularly. If everything works as it is supposed to, then it'll notify you that I've updated. And the other thing is, also wherever you're enjoying this content, look for the word open, more info, description, something like that. And a box will open with a link to the blog. All right, now I'm done. So, accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. Thank you again, and until next time.